Hi there, tech people. It is Sean Worker, your host, and delighted that you came back to the channel. This is an exciting call. It's an exciting video, and equally, it's an exciting extended vodcast right after. So, big call out to our partner friends in the United States at No Vacancy that goes out live every day, where we promote all things TTH, and our producers at Hunter Gatherer. Thanks a million to Art and team. So today is all about talking with Dara Meath. Dara Meath is an accomplished technologist, and when you listen to what she covers and what she will talk about when we get going here, she's the divisional chief information officer with responsibility for digital and e-com within the division of Conair. And Conair, many of you know that, especially our friends in the United States, and many of the Europeans will also know Cuisinart, Waring, and many other brands that Dara is going to talk about. I know I didn't tell the whole story about Conair, so you got a huge responsibility. Can you give us some idea of scale and what you cover and the brands you support and where you support it? Because you've just come off 10 weeks of traveling?
I did. Yeah. So thank you. Conair is a consumer goods products company globally. Many people will be very familiar with the brands underneath it. Several of them with the label of Conair. We have thousands of products underneath that one label, which really go from the endpoint of beauty straight through to home improvement goods. And then we have other business brands like Babyliss Pro, Cuisinart, Waring Commercial Products, and Landry Limited, and so on. And Scunci being one of them, which is every woman's hair tie and hair accessory that's being used out there. So it's an incredible conglomerate of really personal and professional care goods within the electronics and consumer goods space for people that want to cook, they want to play, they want to enjoy, and they just want a better wellness within their selves. So
everything from a scrunchie to a air fryer.
100%, right? So you
can't go wrong.
Good while you're healthy cooking, right? So I love that. It's one of those.
I love that too. And so you could equally have a hospitality division, and here at Adapters TechX, we spend a lot of time with our friends in travel, tourism, hospitality, retail, and restaurants, saying you got to look over the fence at other really, really impressive businesses and speak to technologists that are running a diverse piece of business. But we've got a lot in common when it comes to tech stacks. Lots. It's amazing. So, when you think of, what you do every day, what are some of the most complicated things that you think shouldn't be complicated in tech that you solve for?
Great question. I think some of the most common things that we always see within the technology space, honestly, is always going to be around reporting. Reporting right now is the core and the essential pieces of how businesses are operating. And I think as good as the reporting is each day, there's always more that people are looking for, right? And so the challenges come in making sure you have all the right data points and you're gathering them together to really give the full story of what is out there and what you can offer. And I think that comes in from whether you're doing financial reporting, whether you're doing consumer reporting, whether you're doing operational reporting. I think it's always one of those how do I hit the right marks so that everyone actually can see exactly what they need and they feel accomplished with the reporting structures that they've been receiving. And then how do I take that data and then help them build onto it to get them more of the repetitive motions, right? The angles that we need so that eventually we can add in those infrastructures of AI to really help them motion and move forward. So I think reporting is one of them. There's definitely other things each day, right? We're in a hybrid environment today. So we're looking to go into a, more cloud structure. And of course, we could speak hours about that. And I wouldn't say that it's a challenge, but I would say that there's learning curves. There's things that you must pick up and do, right? And so there's just so much around that.
What are the 2 or 3 features that you see in technology that drives the platform? I mean, and really gives insight both to clients and your employees?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think Wow, there's a two or three things? I think there's just so much, right? For us,
Well, we've got lots of time next time, but right now we got probably 45 seconds on
yeah,
this one.
yeah. So I would say, the top things for us is having a very clean, efficient model that we start off from, right? Understanding the vision and value of what they're trying to get out, and then taking in with the technology stack itself and making sure that it is a user-friendly technology stack that people can pick up and do a little turnkey process, but also be able to adapt to it when they need to further. And then other points I say was the way that you can then regenerate those points back into a very friendly, adaptable, whether it's on mobile, dashboards, wherever it might be, so that your entire business is landscaped on the right. They all have the same vision and views in the landscape on the right formats.
Yeah, it's interesting that you call and label as landscape. That is obviously topography, and it's got peaks and it's got troughs and it's got a mood to it, and it keeps changing. And that's a really interesting way to think about data in many respects. That bouncing off the page. When you think of you're now going to take 20 seconds and say to all CIOs out there, here's my tips and takes as to why you're successful.
So my tips and takes for success is open communication and open understanding about our business partners. It is always keeping your ears open and then helping to understand what they are doing and then be able to readapt that and bring them out the technology that's needed for them to do the right job at the right time. Additional technology or additional tips, within technology is also staying and understanding the teams that work with you and for you. Those that work for you, you have to be able to lift and help them to get to the degree that we are all looking for, right? Bring them into that leadership themselves and really help them be the best that they can be. Ultimately, you'll be the best that you can be, and the company will be the best that they can be overall.
This was an amazingly quick 9:30. So there's a lot more that's coming in the next 30 to 45 minutes as we all click over to our extended podcast. Dara, thanks so much for taking the time. This is just a few minutes of a longer conversation, so we look forward to having you then when we get on to our next phase. So thanks for the tips and takes. When you really think about it, take this away. Your people are everything. Understand your customer, understand your client, understand your inside client, your outside client, and more importantly, the team that makes it happen. Clean and efficient model. Make sure you're using data that's nice and clean, but equally make it friendly and device agnostic so that it's easy for somebody maybe on a manufacturing floor to see one lens and somebody who's making a sales pitch on another end. It's a very complex role when you think of what manufacturing is, and then distribution, retail, and then equally the products that Conair deliver to the travel, tourism, and hospitality space. And you got to look for a crunchy and a mini bar. Anyway, it's great to have everybody. Thanks again to our friends at No Vacancy, Hunter Gatherer that's powered this. This is Sean Worker just wrapping up here with Adapters TechX. And thanks again for listening, and see you again next Wednesday.